And a very good morning to everyone. I'm back. So, what's up? This is the sponsor list, all updated as of today, 11 o'clock. It's just a little bit after 11. I've been varnishing some paintings because I want to try out putting the paintings on my own website. And I'll give you the address where you can find them in a bit. But first off, I want to thank all these people. Because they make it possible that I do all these pourings. So thank you all for supporting me. I really appreciate it. And if you're not on there, you did sponsor me, please slip me an email. You never know if I skip someone. So thank you all very much. I really appreciate it. Like I said, I'm gonna do a lot of I'm gonna upload some paintings on my website. It's www.blazingcolors. And it's .eu. That's it. So this is the website. It's Blazing Colors with COLOURS.EU for Europe. That's where my website's at. So don't go right now because when you see this, because I'm going to do this later this afternoon. Because first off, I'm going to do a couple of pours that I promised people. Then I'm gonna go and I'll show you one. As you can see, this one is already varnished, nice and smooth. See that? No brush strokes, nice and glossy. And this is one that's going on there. It's 20 by 20. I'll put the dimensions next to it, in the description. Usually I do 20 by 20 centimeters, and some are a little bit bigger, like the 40 by 40s. The 4-cup flips that I do are usually on the 40 by 40s, but most of the paintings that I'm going to put on are this size, 20 by 20, but I'll put it next to in the description. Now, another thing I'm going to do, this is really, really big. You can't even see how big it is. This is a 55 by 33, and it's a really beautiful canvas. I'm going to do that later on. I'm going to do something that looks like a 4-cup flip, but it's going to be a 3-cup flip with negative space in it. But that's going to be for later today. So right now, I promised Andrew that I would do Vallejo with primary elements, and so this video is for you, Andrew. What I mixed up is this color, cobalt turquoise. It's a pretty intense color. Here you see it in the cup, but what you always have to keep in mind is that when you mix this stuff, because we only mix the Vallejo with Floetrol. So it's Vallejo and Floetrol, that's it. Yeah, and a little silicone, of course. But when you put the color in the cup, I'll try to show you a little. Always shake the bottles. You gotta shake these bottles because, it's so highly pigmented that you gotta shake them before you use them. So if I were to drop some in, as you can see, I'm not sure if it's a little hard to see, but because of the light. But when you put the Floetrol in, it will lighten up just a little bit. So what you gotta keep in mind is when you pour your painting that because of the Floetrol and when everything dries, the painting will go a little bit darker, just a tad bit darker, not too much, but a little bit. So the colors I'm using today is, like I said, the cobalt turquoise. Then we have teal. And I'm showing you the number. When you go order, all you have to do is watch that number. And anyone starting out with Vallejo fluid acrylics, don't look at other paints, because you have to look at this, 100 milliliters. This is the only size this paint comes in. That's to make it easy, because Vallejo has so many brands or you know, types of paint, but a lot of them are for painting model cars and model everything that's small. So what you want to look for is the 100 milliliter, because that's the only size this comes in. If you do that, if you keep that in mind, 100 milliliters, then you can't go wrong, because then you have the good paint. So this one, this is the permanent green, but the thing is, I'm not too fond of this color. So what I do, as you can see, this is the color in the bottle, and this is the color I'm using, because what I do is I add a little bit of orange, transparent orange, and a little bit of yellow. I put that in the green, and it gives you that really vibrant, bright green. I might even ask Vallejo to make some sort of a color that looks like this, because this one is just doesn't do it for me. It's just too standard green. Okay, so that's in there. Then I have, of course, a lot of white. I'm using the zinc white. Then I have Prussian blue, the 405. And I'm telling you, you know, when you invest in this paint, a little bit goes a long way. Really it does, because we do 1 part paint, and then you add 3 to 4 parts of Floetrol. So this goes a long way. 100 milliliters, and if you have like 9 or 11 colors, I think you could make like 20 to 30 canvases. Easy, really easy. Maybe double that. So that's the colors I have. Then, because this experiment is about primary elements, I mixed up some primary elements, but I put that in pouring medium and in, let me zoom you out a bit. There's only pouring medium in here and gloss medium, and both from Vallejo. So it's the same medium that I use with the Winsor & Newton that I used in the last 2 pours. Now, as you can see, it's pretty metallic-y, right? You can see it shine. So that's what's in there. And it is a lot thinner, really is. Very, very thin. It's like water. Because what we're trying to do is incorporate it into this pour and let it, at least let it come up somehow. You know, we want it to be in the painting, not under the paint. So we're going to try that out right now. I have my torch. Everyone wondering what the torch is. It's a cook's torch. I still get people asking me, what is that thing you're using? What is that air thing? No, it's not an air thing, it's a heat thing. Then there are still people that think I burn the paint. I don't burn the paint. Later on today, when I do the other 3-cup flip, I will put it on my hand, the drip off, and I will torch my hand. I'll show you that I do not burn the paint, because that's something that you have to take care of. You don't want to burn the paint. You don't want those bubbles popping up there. I have somewhere downstairs, I have one painting that I did that on purpose, just burn the paint, and you can absolutely see it, because it gives you all that, the bumpy structure of bubbling paint. So what you don't want to do is, when it's on, that you do like this, really close, like that close to the canvas. You don't want to do that. What you usually see me do, and especially in the last 2 pours, is that this far, if you can see how far this is, let me put my hand here, that far. I hold it like this, and I let the warmth come down on the paint, and it warms the paint just a little bit, and by warming that paint, it activates the silicone to come to the surface, and that's what makes the cells. Now, if you're using Vallejo, what you'll see in a minute is that you really don't need to torch it, because the consistency of Vallejo and Floetrol, as you can see here, is exactly thick enough for the silicone to rise to the top all by itself. It doesn't need the warmth to pull it up. I'm gonna pour it, and we'll see if it sells, and if it's ready. When it's ready, I'm gonna torch it anyway, and you'll see if it does anything, that torch. But for people that don't want to use a torch, want to have a 100% guarantee that they're gonna get cells, buy Vallejo and Floetrol and dimethicone, and you will have cells. And dimethicone is it's silicone, basically. So it's just I think a little bit more expensive dimethicone because it's non-flammable, it's non-toxic, you know, all that stuff. Okay, now the primary elements. I got 2 colors, and those are my favorite colors. Who knew? Yeah. So it's Kiwi and it's Blue Bayou. Now these primary elements, all they are is, as you can see inside, they're mica powders, and they're colored with pigments. So if you want to buy these, you go over to www.colorart.com. And let me see if it's on here, but you can almost not see it there. I'll put a link under this video. And you know, I don't like putting links under the video because half of you can't even find those links. So let me put it on paper. So it's www.colorart.com, and you're looking for, well, she has a lot of stuff. Primary elements. Now they come in so many colors. If you go over there, you'll find out how many, and it's hard to choose. But you know, I just have a couple of favorites. It's the Kiwi and the Bayou Blue because they are so vibrant. So we're gonna start off right now. So I have all my paints mixed. I have dimethicone in it. I have my 2 primary elements ready. And I'm going to put it all in a cup, in a little cup, because this is a 15 by 15. It's just a little bit smaller, 15 by 15, and I'm going to pour it. So we're going to start off, like always, with the lightest color, a little bit of white. Then that nice dark cobalt turquoise. Yes. Then the dark blue. Prussian blue. Then that beautiful teal. I'm so in love with this color. I really love this color. Oops, not that one and not that one. Then the green. And now I'm going to put in this, but I'm going to mix it really fast because all the pigments are dropping to the bottom. Just a tiny bit. See, it's dropping right through. That's okay. There it goes. You can see it drop right through. Let me get you in a little bit closer. There you go. Are we in focus? Yes, we are. Now I'm going to do this, and I'm gonna do a little bit. Ooh. Now as you can see, it's popping up there. This is the primary element, that is. Ooh, that's looking cool. But we need some more. So I'm gonna pop in a little bit more. And because it's the primary elements are so thin and there's silicone involved, you'll see that you're gonna see some canvas. So you gotta make sure that you fix that later on. Putting in a little bit more because I'd like to see just a little bit more of that. And some light. And I'm going to give it a little swirl if I had another swirl stick. My thing just fell off the table. Okay, here we go. Pouring it around and over, and that's got to be enough. And now I wish I had a corner catcher. But remember, this is not about the cells, people. This is more about these primary elements. Pulling it down. That's it. Okay. I do like it, but as I told you, what's going to happen is that because the paint is so thin, that silicone is already on top. So right now, when we torch it, not much is going to happen, as you can see. There's already, all these silicone is already risen to the surface. And that's something, guys, that if you're having troubles with the cells, you gotta think and watch and look if your paint isn't too thin, so that before you get to torch, that's already to the surface. So, you know, no need to torch, there's nothing to torch. So I like it. I really do. I'll give you a close-up. Maybe you can see the primary elements then. It's hard to detect on this one. You can see it a little bit, but not that much. Okay. So that's that one. Gotta get it a little closer. There you go. I do like it. It has a lot of things going on. I do like it, but as I said, it's a lot thinner than I normally use because of the primary elements. And it did come up because I can see the whole band here is metallic. When I look down here, I can see stuff going on. There's a lot going on. Now what you can do, of course, is come in later with more of this, especially where you see the canvas, and just drop it on and let it do its thing. And dropping it in the middle will do almost nothing because it drops right through the paint. So that's something that you want to watch out for. If you want to fill in more holes, then I would fill it in with the Vallejo. See that? That stays there. And I'll do a little color because I want the corners to be full. There we go. Now a little blue because I am going to keep this one. It is a cute one. But like I said, there's a lot of canvas exposed, so I've got to fix it. That's it. There we go. That's about everything covered now. Just this tiny little corner. Okay, so it's fully covered. We're gonna just let it dry. And this takes a little longer than 24 hours. That's another question I get a lot. How long does it take to dry? Usually between 24 and 36 hours and it's totally dry, but not cured. Because you have to understand that acrylic takes a couple of weeks to cure, maybe even months, but before you can go varnish it, that's going to take a while. So that's that. I do have a feeling I want to do something to it. It's pretty, but I think I can make it a little bit better with a little bit of glitter. Yeah. A little bit of glitter. Let's do that. Oh yeah, I like this one because you can hardly see it. This is a micro glitter, and it has a tiny bit of a gold in it, but it really isn't that really obvious. There it goes. I've got too much on my hand now. A little bit in the green here. Yeah. That's looking good. And a little bit here. Okay, gotta throw the rest away and put it back in. And of course I want that holographic glitter, the blue one. And I'm gonna put that in the blue, only in the blue. And a little bit down here, a little bit up here. Okay, this is gonna be a nice little, cute little painting. As you can see, when the light catches it, it's sparkly. Oh, let me move slowly because a lot of you said, oh, I get sick when you move the iPad that fast. So when you move past it, you'll see it, but when you hold it steady, you won't see that much glitter. It's just a little bit. Okay, there we go. So this is the first one. I'm gonna do another one now, but I'm gonna be mixing the primary elements with the vivid enamel, so you'll see the difference. So I'll be right back after this video. Love you all to pieces.